Good evening, I'm Jonathan Carmody. Welcome to Give Me a Break. As we're approaching a new school year, 2025-2026, when your students are getting homework assignments like essays and all that stuff and worksheets online, you might be thinking like they're using pencils or pens to get the right answers, or just looking up answers on the internet. Well, it's probably not that simple. You see, AI is probably taking over the future of the world. There's this thing on the internet that we've always seen, that we've seen happen. It's a web app. It's called Answers AI, and this is a cool set. So here's how it works. This is how it works. You would take after you log on all that stuff, this is what it would do. You would look at the answer, it sends a screenshot of the thing. Once you pin it, then what you gotta do is you gotta scan it with the QR code. Once you do that, or you can just sign on with your Google account. If you want to see how it works, here are a couple of videos.
What are you doing? You playing the what are you doing? You playing the game right now?
Yeah, I'm just playing Mario Kart.
Did you finish the assignment?
Yeah.
It's been 5 minutes, Diddy. How did you finish?
It was super easy.
It's been 5 minutes. Show me how you did this.
It's not that deep though. Like I literally just screenshot the question. It gives me an explanation and it also gives me a solution. That's it.
This is cheating.
No, I'm learning.
This is unacceptable.
It's not. I'm just learning.
Diddy, this is cheating. I'm reporting you to the dean and I need you to get out of here now. Yes, take your Terminator 2 tech shit with you and get out.
That's
Leave.
crazy. I can't understand.
Diddy, what are you doing? You playing the game right now?
Yeah, I'm just playing Mario Kart.
Did you finish the
And even something like this.
Alright guys, I'm sick of the crickets. What defines a finite graph?
A finite graph is defined by having a finite number of vertices and edges.
Was that Siri?
No,
Called what?
Answers AI.
I don't know how I feel about that, but that was the right answer. Can somebody please put it in their own words? Alright guys, I'm sick of the crickets.
Diddy, what are you?
And even when teachers are using AI.
You are definitely cheating. This is
I'm
cheating.
not cheating. This is definitely Answers AI. It lets me screenshot a question, and then it actually gives me an explanation, unlike you. And then I get an answer, so I actually learn instead of wasting my time here.
You might be the biggest liar I've ever met
Are
in my
you kidding
classroom.
me? You might be the worst teacher I've ever had.
I've been teaching for 30 years.
And you suck.
Young man,
I learned more from
Young
this than
man,
from you. I don't even
get
need
out.
this.
You're a zero in
I'm doing
life.
better than most people.
You're going to be a failure in life. A failure in life. You're a cheater. You are definitely.
You're a cheater.
Carl, did you just submit your assignment that I just assigned?
Yeah.
That was fast.
And?
Well, how did you get it done that fast?
Why does that matter?
Because it's not making sense. Are you cheating or something?
All I'm doing is taking a screenshot of the question here, and then I'm uploading it, and it's giving me an explanation, and it's giving me
Carl,
a solution.
this is cheating.
It's not cheating.
This is
You're literally
unacceptable.
asking us to learn 3 months of material in a month.
Not my
Summer
problem.
I'm
I'm
actually
reporting you to
learning.
the dean. I want you to grab your stuff, and I want you to beat your ass on out of here. Get out now.
This is just summer school.
Carl, did you
It's
just
just summer school. Here's how teachers feel about AI.
Hello parents and students, I'm Professor Gibbons and I just want to make a short video about AI in the classroom right now. I see both sides, good and bad, but mainly good. Just like we had calculators growing up, I saw most people that use calculators as a stimulant to learn. I see these students using AI and it just makes them want to learn more. There's nothing more intriguing than seeing a student use modern tools to become smarter. I'm amazed by it. So So I just want to encourage to keep using it. Let's keep building this. Just like I saw with calculators, when you start to, diss the technology or not want to use it, it actually helps people. And this AI is helping students really learn. It makes them want to do better on the assignment. It makes them want to ask why. It makes them want to find out, how did they come up with this? How do people already know this? So I just want everyone to really encourage this and keep using AI. The one I would recommend is just Answers AI. It's pretty straightforward. It has all the background, and you can go from basic to really advanced. So it's a pretty user-friendly platform. Hello, parents.
User-friendly platform. Okay, that's cool.
AI again? This is cheating.
No.
What do you mean no? This is completely unacceptable. Guys, I'm so sick of this. Why do you think this is okay?
I'm trying to learn. I have so much going on with
What?
practice.
And you're doing what? What is this then?
Screenshotting a question, giving me the explanation.
Never mind.
A solution, something that you're not doing.
You would see that I'm doing that and you're just paying attention. Pack up your things and get out right now. I don't care. I'm so sick of this. What, do you have a problem?
Yeah, I do.
Then get out. AI again? This is cheating.
Wow. That's how I feel when teachers don't like AI. Well, a bit later on, we're gonna look at how teachers feel when they catch students using AI the day after they turn in their homework assignment. Next, we're gonna tell you the difference between homeschooling and public schooling, and later on, an update about the cell phone policy and a little bit of what I got to say coming forward to season 9. So please stay with us.
Is that another goddamn cheating tool in my classroom?
No, I'm just using a Chrome extension.
You know what? That doesn't look right.
What? No, I just have to use a Chrome extension because you suck at teaching. All I do is take screenshots of the questions, and it actually gives me explanations unlike you, and I get an answer. Like, it actually helps me learn.
Why are you using Chrome?
Because you're a terrible teacher. It's not actually cheating.
Well, you're cheating.
It's not how.
You're not doing the homework by yourself.
What are you talking about? Dude, I hate this stuff. Why do you throw things at us?
Jerk.
What are you talking about?
Ow.
Are you serious?
Is that another...
Jerk. So, you just heard it. Answers AI is one of the many cheating AI tools that kids use. We're gonna talk more in advance when we start season 9. When we do Premiere Week. We're gonna talk about AI, the cell phone law in Texas, and a lot of other stuff. But this is where I stand. I think that when I think of kids using AI, I think of it as, a way for them to do their homework. I mean, when we were kids growing up, it's like we had calculators. And for math, we used calculators. And calculators always helped us whenever we were stuck on a difficult math problem. Like, 5 times 50. And so we would have to get the calculator to find out what it is. Nowadays, kids use their phones as a calculator. But with AI nowadays, it's like nobody knows how to solve certain problems in certain times. So I think that, if teachers like AI, okay. If not, if teachers don't like it, then don't want to have them use it, okay. In just a moment, we're going to show you we're going to show you teachers that catch their kids using AI. We've already heard teachers' opinions. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that later. But as like I said, we're approaching the beginning of the 2025-2026 school year. A video came across to me from this year. I think I can find it on here. But here's an example of a homeschooler versus public schooler.
Is it me or are we best friends?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely your best friend. That's.
Is it me or are we best friends?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely your best friend. That's.
I think I found the video somewhere. I don't know if I can find it.
Hey, William, are you trying out for...
Let's take it down to Australia. We'll take you the this was from 2 weeks ago.
Everyone said to go to a
ABC
traditional
News,
university to get my master's,
talking
but
about
I chose WGU. Their online health
talking about
degrees
public
are
school
nationally
and
recognized
private
and audited,
education.
So I know I'll be graduating from a program that employers respect. Learn more at WGU.
This was from weeks ago. Let's take a look at this.
Did you miss your friends? It is just so beautiful, you know, it's like our little school in the bush.
Morning, Alex.
We love Canberra Public because it literally changed our lives for the better.
Canberra Public is a much-loved school girded by National Park and delivering a quiet, idyllic education right in the heart of Sydney.
And I think that really makes it unique. And it really is a hidden gem in the forest.
Lily Stewart is a busy mum but was motivated to become president of the Parents and Citizens Group after her children found refuge at Canberra.
My son, unfortunately, was terribly bullied. He was diagnosed with a clinically severe depression. And on that day, I decided to pull them out and look for a more nurturing, more homey type of environment.
Right, kids. Louie, Nina.
The problem for Lily, Louie and Nina is that there's just 39 students left at the school, down from more than 200 a few years ago.
Let's go. Go get your backpacks. Let's go.
Their school now risks being known not for its charming surrounds, but as the first Sydney public school put into recess in 2 decades.
Let's go. I'd be heartbroken. Really, really heartbroken. I believe in public education. And that will not change my mind.
In a statement, the New South Wales Education Department blamed changing demographics, saying the total number of students living in the Northern Beaches area had declined, something that will impact other public schools there too. It said no decision has been made about the school's future and it's consulting the community.
How does that leave everyone feeling about the department?
Angry, ignored, abandoned.
Figures released to 7:30 by the New South Wales Private School Lobby suggest parents moving out of the public system has also played a part. In the surrounding federal electorate of Mackellar, 2,658 students have left public schools in the past 5 years, while more than 700 new students were enrolled at private schools. Experts like Dr. Emma Rowe say the New South Wales enrolment shift has come when many public schools are underfunded and some private schools overfunded.
It's become wildly unfair in that we're a bit of a laughing stock in terms of how we fund our schools. It is seen as an anomaly outside of Australia. It's
a national trend. ABS data shows that over the last 5 years, public school enrolments grew by just 1%, compared to an 18.5% rise at independent schools and a 6.6% rise at Catholic schools.
I think asking them to compete is akin to, putting 2 kids in a marathon. One has running shoes and the other does not have running shoes.
Illawarra Christian School south of Sydney is one of many faith-based low and medium fee schools riding the boom. It's grown from around 600 students in 2020 to 800 today. And instead of closures, they're buying up neighbouring properties to expand.
Our school is landlocked by bush and domestic properties, and so we've had to acquire some local houses in the area to be able to build for the future.
How's your week looking?
Boring.
Dad, Tim Canosa, a former public school history teacher turned pastor, reluctantly moved 2 of his 3 kids from the public system.
It's something that my family, we really wrestled with. I went to a public school, my wife went to a public school.
We're going to have a little bit of a conversation now about your school holidays.
The family were attracted by the school's pastoral care and are prepared to make sacrifices to pay the fees, which average about $6,500 a year per student.
There is a significant money sacrifice, but the time one's probably the one we feel the most, as in local public school would be a 10-minute transport trip, whereas the school we're sending to is somewhere around 50 minutes.
Research from independent data scientist David McCloskey suggests why the enrolment trend matters. He's mapped for the first time the likelihood of public and private students attaining a university degree.
What this means is that your opportunity to actually get a well-paid professional job depends in part on the type of secondary school you went to.
The study found 31% of public school students attain a university degree, compared to 45% for Catholic school alumni and 53.5% for those who went to independent schools.
Look, I think it sucks. And I never expected to find the level of disparity that I've seen in this study.
Previous studies have found little difference in outcomes between private and public students after controlling for parents' education levels and wealth. And there's evidence public school students may actually perform better than private students once at university.
The National School Resourcing Standard.
The findings come as cash finally begins to flow to public schools at the levels promised by the Gonski Review almost 15 years ago. All states have signed on to a new $16 billion funding deal and will hit minimum funding levels sometime over the next decade.
If funding improves for public schools, that would be an excellent outcome.
That is great.
For the parents and children of Canberra Public School, they worry the money will not flow quickly enough to save their school. A decision on its future will be made later this year, but if enrolment trends continue, it might not be the only one facing a long recess.
I think it would be a real shame. You know, Canberra has shaped so many community kids here for decades, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with Canberra, and it is absolutely worth keeping the doors open.
And it's just absolutely worse, and it'll continue to get worse and worse and worse if nothing does happen here. It's not just happening in Australia, it's happening everywhere, as we've already explained. Still to come, new updates about House Bill 1481 and where I stand on this, as we talk more about this going into season 9, and the difference between excused and unexcused. That's coming up next, so please stay with us. It's like we talked about, we're approaching the beginning of the 2025-2026 school year. That's going to mean, like, you know, a lot of people are going to be having unexcused absences. Things like, you know, I overslept, missed the bus, whatever. So, with this in mind, y'all are probably asking all about, you know, what is the difference between excused and unexcused? And like we talked about, an excused absence in school is a student's absence for valid reasons, such as illness, medical appointment that is probably communicated with the school by a parent or guardian, allowing the student to make up missed work. An unexcused absence is when the student is absent for reasons that are not considered legitimate by the school, like a vacation or simply not showing up. and it lacks proper parental notification and verification. These examples include illness and injury, medical dental appointments, death or funeral from intimate family member, like family emergency, court appearances, legal obligations, religious holidays, or family emergencies. Excuse absence like family vacation, skip school, or to run a personal or friend meets, any absence without parents call or note. So it's like this: if your child was sick but you never notified the school, that's also considered an unexcused absence. And when that happens, you keep having these unexcused absences. It's like we talked about. You're going to end up going to truancy court in your county. That's going to mean you'll be to hear before a judge. In this student's case, which you're about to meet, she had a lot of unexcused absences. Then she went to court.
I can ask, but he's not going to.
After having a lot of unexcused absences, she went to court. And what may shock you was this. So,
and she essentially laid down the law.
So here's Jim Winchester.
So I'm talking to Candy, right?
High school freshman Candy and her mother Teresa are just one of many students and parents facing Magistrate Tina Gallegos.
Tonight's hearing is basically just to inform you, as the parent of Candy, that we've got a little problem. Okay, this is our first flag. This is our first warning.
If Candy continues to skip school, in a worst-case scenario, she could lose her driver's license and her mother could go to jail.
They're not playing around. Our kids, are kind of normal, but they all need a kick in the butt. We need a kick in the butt.
Sometimes the parents aren't always aware of a child who might skip a class or two, but this is going to bring awareness to that.
When the judge revealed that Candy has had 9 unexcused absences since January 1st, Teresa was surprised. In some of them, Candy really was sick and her mother never notified the school. But Candy admitted the other days she just skipped.
It's pretty much we just don't want to go to class. And it's so easy to ditch after school, so.
Technically, it's the law. You have to go to school.
Tonight it was only verbal warnings, but if there's a next time, juvenile probation will be called in, and the consequences could be ugly.
I see the problems, I know the problems. I think it's it's that time.
From now on, though, what are you gonna do?
Go to class. Yeah, because I don't want to come back here and go to all this again.
And those students and parents that didn't show up as required tonight will automatically be turned over to juvenile probation. Diane, back to you.
In worst cases, you'd have to pay fines. Like this case from years ago. This father, which you're about to meet, says he kept getting fine after fine after fine for her child skipping class.
Wolfson has an in-depth look at what
Take a look.
parents are responsible for when it comes to their child's attendance at school.
Hasn't been home since December the 3rd.
Michael Moreno is missing his 17-year-old daughter, Justine.
It's kind of hard, she's our little daughter.
Justine left school during her 7th period class at Hutto High back on December 3rd. She hasn't been home or back to school since.
For her not to get off at the bus stop, within 15 minutes, I knew something was wrong.
But he also knew his daughter had been skipping school. There was a warrant out for her arrest on truancy charges. And even though he believes she ran away on her own, he put up these flyers all over town.
It's just hard on the truancy, As far as kids going to school, they think it's a joke, It's not a joke.
And he's sure of that now. Last week, a truancy court judge in Williamson County told Michael he would have to pay $500 a day for every day his daughter wasn't in school.
Do you think it's fair that you're held accountable for that?
I don't think it's fair, but that's the law,
Should parents be held accountable? Yes. And if the courts have determined that that's the most appropriate accountability measure is fining them, then I would support it and do support it.
Hutto High School Principal Brandy Baker won't talk specifically about this case, citing privacy rules, but says the school does a lot to keep their 1,300 students in class.
We're not going to give up, and they'll continue to get phone calls and letters and emails, and we'll knock on their door because we really want those students to be here.
That determination appears to be working at Hutto, where 96% of the students attend class regularly.
I just wanted to come home. Because we miss her and it hurts, you know.
Unfortunately, Justine Moreno isn't one of those success stories, but her father says she could be if she would just come home.
I don't want nothing bad to happen to her.
Now, the law in Texas is that 10 unexcused absences will lead to truancy charges for a student and their parent or guardian. Finding the parent for each day the child is not in school is up to the judge's discretion. Jail time is also an option for both the parent and the student. Live in the studio, Shannon Wolfson, KXAN, Austin News.
But that changed back in 2015. It was almost 10 years ago that when the Justice Department heard about what happened in Dallas County, state lawmakers made sweeping changes to change the laws that would prohibit them, that would not make it a crime, but it would be a misdemeanor. Before today, a guilty people did the time in the juvenile justice system. Back then, when the Justice Department looked at how those kids in Dallas County, state lawmakers made sweeping changes. And this student was, and if this child was in Judge James Metz's courtroom, it would have been changed. Then she would have had been in jail 72 hours. And that law from back in 2015, as we're about to show you right now, it's to where if you're going to court,
RBFCU credit cards go beyond everyday purchases. Whether you're looking for reward.
Acton.
So here's what's going to happen. We're talking about truant conduct. So here's Judge John E. Payton.
With that being said, failure to attend school charge did go away. In fact, as of September 1st, 2015, all documents, all case files, everything that ever existed in regards to a failure to attend school case has been and is being expunged from the child's record. Now, moving forward from September 1st of 2015, all the new charges will be called truant conduct. Truant conduct is defined as a child engaging in truant conduct is required to attend school under Section 25.085 of the Education Code and fails to attend school on 10 or more days or parts of days within a 6-month period in the same school year. Truant conduct may be prosecuted only as a civil case in truancy court. Now, interestingly enough, this is still a charge. The allegation is truant conduct. The charge is truant conduct. You will not be entering a plea of guilty, not guilty, or no contest. You will now, if the prosecutor, the state prosecutor that prosecutes criminal cases, finds that the evidence that they have been given by the school district is sufficient, shall file a petition creating the allegations against you called truant conduct. When that petition is filed, that's when the entire process of the adjudication hearing begins. Prior to the adjudication hearing, the school district must enter into truancy prevention measures. Now, the law doesn't say that they have to enter truancy prevention measures if you're going to be uncooperative or if you're not going to show up for your meetings or your hearings. They have to make a good faith effort to make sure that they have tried to implement truancy prevention measures to prevent you from having to come to truancy court, which, by the way, is something that I have preached for 25 years of being on the bench. That's why we provide videos like this, educational videos, to hopefully educate and inform so that you'll make good decisions and not find yourself going into a courtroom. However, under the truancy prevention measures, these are measures that are now required on student cases. As a truancy prevention measure, under subsection A school district shall take one or more of the following actions. The majority of the school districts that I have spoken to in Collin County, and really a part of our Collin County truancy uniform policy, most school districts are electing to choose option 1. Number 1, impose a behavior improvement plan on the student that must be signed by an employee of the school that the school district has made a good faith effort to have signed by the student and the student's parent or guardian. That includes a specific description of the behavior that is required or prohibited for the student, the period for which the plan will be effective, not to exceed 45 school days after the date the contract becomes effective. And again, almost all of the school districts that I'm aware of and our Collin County Uniform Truancy Policy Committee has decided that they wish to use and elect to use the first option. So be prepared to have to come into a meeting and sign a BIP, or what I've explained to students and parents, what used to formerly be called an attendance improvement contract, which fortunately all of you who are students in Collin County have probably come across, because most of the school districts here in Collin County have used attendance contracts to help you improve your attendance and hopefully not lose credit in your classes. Don't confuse the 90% rule, where you're required to be in school 90% of the time, with truant conduct. They are not one and the same. If you make your unexcused absences or excused absences up, that is with the 90% rule granting you credit back for your classes. However, if you make up your unexcused absences or parts of days, it doesn't mean that you still haven't violated the law and can be filed on for truant conduct. It just means that you've received your credit back, especially for secondary students. So the two are mutually exclusive, although they do have a tendency to bleed over to one another. Furthermore, the age has changed. A lot of students have come in and said, well, we can drop out of school now at 17. I don't have to go to school anymore, and I'm not getting my GED. I've actually had students tell me that here in court. However, that is not the case. You are now required to go to school till your 19th birthday. If you are filed on and you are under court order during the duration of your 19th birthday, the court order doesn't expire because you've turned 19. You will be required under the remedial order to continue to attend school through your 19th birthday. And if you've not turned 19 before the school year starts, you will be required to attend school and begin the school year. And so those rules have changed and bumped up the age of requirement to attend school one additional year. Furthermore, now, once a case is referred to the truancy court, it is sent over to the prosecutor. The prosecutor in Collin County will review it within 7 days. If there is a holiday, or if there are other days where there are ice days or weather days, that may be extended by 2 to 3 days. However, under the Collin County Uniform Truancy Policy that we've already discussed in Collin County, every 7 days, a county or city prosecutor will review the petition or the referral made by the school district to the court. Once it's referred and looked at by the state will send it back to the court, approving it or not approving it. If the state says the petition doesn't have the required elements, then the state will dismiss it and nothing will go forward. The school district will continue its process. However, if the state says, yes, there's enough elements here to prove the petition to be filed, then they file the petition. You will receive either a certified mail return receipt requested letter summoning you to court, or you will be served by a deputy with a paper at your home place of employment, or really, it doesn't say that you can't be served at school, if that's where they can find you and finally get you served. I can tell you that from a county standpoint, sending out certified mail return receipt requested is not profitable, and I don't mean profitable for making money, but it takes away from the taxpayers' money. And so therefore we're going to more than likely have all of ours served by a deputy. So the deputy will go to your home, knock on your door, serve both you, the student now, and the parent, and any other person that may be contributing to your lack of school attendance. Under the new truant conduct law, they have added a section that if there is a determination that somebody else is contributing to your truant conduct, that person can now be brought into the court and placed under court order as well and be served. Let me give you an example, because this is the most common. Students turn 17. For whatever reason, police departments have told them that they can move out of their home, that they're grown, they're adults now. That is not the case. Both under Acton, which is a Supreme Court case from 1995, and under state law, a student doesn't become an adult or the age of majority until they turn 18 years of age. So if you leave your home at 17, a parent has a duty under section 151.001 of the Family Code to go out
and retrieve you and bring you home. All that can be reviewed online at www.statutes.capitol.texas.gov. So that's how it was. So once you show up to court, that's what can happen, true or not true.
The law. So, we've gotten you served, the referral's been made, you show up to court. Once you show up to court, then there becomes the question. So all of those things have not...
So, that's what can happen. It's not just,
required to attend school. The court...
It's what the court can require.
Title III, Section 65 of the Family Code. The court can still order community service. The court can order you are required to attend school. The court can order you are required to attend tutorials. The court can order that your driver's license be suspended. The court can order counseling. The court can order classes. The court can order treatment, whether it be inpatient, outpatient drug treatment. So all of those things have not changed, and the remedial order can still be put into place as the old order did. Then there becomes the question, well, I don't want to do anything you tell me to do. And that, of course, is clearly up to the student. At that point, we can hold an enforcement hearing, we can hold a modification.
It's what can happen, Every child would sit there and say, well, I'm not going to do anything I'm being told to do. I don't care what you're doing to me, Judge. I'm not going to do it. I don't care. Well, you're going to be in a rotten pickle if you think you can not do what he tells you to do. It's taken very seriously in all cases, so remember that. Treatment, drug treatment, community service. Parents can also do community service as well. And if that happens, then in most states, jail time. In this state, ever that happens, the child can be sentenced to 1 year in jail in the juvenile county center. So remember that. We're gonna take a break. We're back. Welcome back. Earlier in the broadcast, we talked about AI and how teachers feel about using AI. Now we're going to look at when teachers catch their students using AI.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or concerns about the lesson? Any at all? Now's your opportunity to ask any questions. Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. Alright. Alright guys, now, for your homework tonight, you are going to write a 1-page essay. That's right guys, a 1-page essay. And it must be done and turned in by no later than tomorrow morning. Any later than that is a 0. Is that understood, guys? Now, listen up, guys. ChatGPT, Quillbot, all this other AI stuff. I know about it, and I know how popular it is, guys, okay? And I know for a fact that some of you guys in this room are going to use it. Although some of you guys will not, and that's good. Yeah, you boys in the back, don't act all dumb. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And don't even think you're going to try to fool me either, because it's not going to work. Let me tell you guys something right now, and I mean every bit of it when I say it. If anyone in this room, and I mean anyone, uses any form of AI, whether it be Quillbot or ChatGPT, I will find out about it, guys. Yeah, that's right, guys. When you turn in the homework, I will find out whether your essays are AI generated or human generated. In other words, I will find out if it's AI generated or if it's actually written by you guys. Okay? Now listen, I may have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I am not that gullible. Got it, guys? Do I make myself clear? Okay. Alright guys, now go ahead and start packing up. The bell's gonna ring shortly, okay? The next day. Nothing like a good cup of joe in the morning. Alright, time to check the essays. Alright, let's log in first. Alright, let's see what we... Wait a second. Wait a minute. These 4 essays right here don't look like it's human written. They might have used AI, but I won't know for sure once I check. You know what, let me go ahead and check right now because I'm a little skeptical. Oh, you have got to be kidding me right now. I knew it had to be AI. You know what, wait until class starts. I'm gonna confront the whole class about it. This is not gonna end well for them. Cheryl, not right now, okay? Just not right now. Everyone, come in the classroom and sit down and shut your mouths. I am not in the mood. Now, I was looking at your essays, guys, and based on what I saw that some of you guys in this room used AI. No, calm down, guys, calm down. I know who did it, and it wasn't any of you guys. Yeah, you boys in the back, I'm looking at you guys. Care to explain what happened? Want to try again, boys? Why did you guys use AI? You know I was gonna find out, right? So why did you do it? Yeah, everyone in this room is staring at you, so you might as well tell the truth. Yeah, of course, you didn't understand it, just like usual. Yeah, well guess what you guys are gonna get now? Zeros. Zeros on your essays as well as in the grade book. Yeah, no, I don't want to hear any side of the story. You guys should have thought of that before you guys used AI for your homework. What a joke. And for the rest of you guys, good job on your essays. I looked at them and it was phenomenal. No mistakes and no grammar issues. Alright, now for the rest of you guys, go ahead and get out your textbooks, okay?
That's what can happen. And teachers have ways to detect when kids are using AI. So if I were you, I would not use AI for the school year. Because if you do, you're going to be... if you do so, your grade's going to suffer. And you may sit there and say, well, I don't understand any of this. Well, it doesn't matter. You should have thought about, hey, maybe I should have used AI and just write down the essay on a piece of paper or on a computer like all the rest of the kids and be successful. Alright. Alright, now what we're going to do right now, we're going to move on here. Sorry, I don't know what I was going to say. As you know, weeks ago, we've been talking about the cell phone policy that's been put in place, signed by Governor Greg Abbott, House Bill 1481. If you don't know what that is,
Class,
it's a...
ASD students. This passed cell phone ban. I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama, and I'll tell you what this means for CCISD students.
So if you don't know what we talked about here, if you tune into this broadcast, we talked about House Bill 1481, signed by the governor. It says that the law states that students are prohibited from using their phones in class. Now, some schools are implementing fines like $5, $15, $20 from Houston ISD. But here in the Coastal Bend, CCISD might be doing something different. So now we're going to show you the board meeting from CCISD, and you may judge for yourself whether or not it may be harsh. Here's Victoria Valderrama.
This cell phone ban is a change many Texas school districts have made because of a newly passed law, House Bill 1481, prohibiting the use of cell phones, smartwatches, tablets, and other similar devices. At Tuesday's board meeting, CCISD district officials outlined how it will regulate no phones in the schools. CCISD board members voted to approve the implementation, consequences, and exceptions of the cell phone ban rule with an amendment.
So what we're going to do is add a $15 fine to the second offense, and it will not be discretionary. We'll take out discretion. So
Strike 2 means you get your phone confiscated and you'll have to pay a fee to get it back. There was also an amendment by Don Clark.
And I will offer a third and hopefully final amendment to the action item to say cell phones will be turned off from the time you enter a CCISD building.
With these rules now in place, the district hopes it will minimize distractions in the classrooms and give students a better learning environment. In Corpus Christi, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama, for Chris 6 News.
And like we've been talking about, the governor just wants Texas to be #1, to keep kids focused in schools. Well, with this in mind, let's take a look at the discipline chart for those. Now, this I can handle. First offense will be a warning. Second offense, second and third offense will be disciplinary action, like tardy. It's like, first one's free. Second and third one, month's detention, 4 parent conference. So this is the first offense. Device is confiscated, securely stored, and is documented in the discipline system. Administrator notifies parent or legal guardian, and the parent or legal guardian must pick up the device during normal school hours. The second time, device is confiscated, securely stored, and is documented in the discipline system. Administrator notifies parent or legal guardian of the consequences. Students may be assigned to ISS for 1 day. Parent legal guardian must pick up the device from school hours. Third offense, it's the same thing, but $15. And they have to face parent conference with the administrator. Now, the third offense here, when I was growing up in school, if we ever caught using our phones, then it'd be taken up, and us and our parents had to pay $15 to get back our phone. Even in the bathrooms. That's how it was it wasn't a warning. It was, student uses a cell phone? Give me the phone. You have this back in the class. You have this back, your parents can come pick it up. Or it wouldn't be, you can pick this up after school, and hell freezes over, whichever comes first. Now parents are responding to the cell phone ban in Houston.
When paying with Cash App Card feels pro, because you have rounders turned on.
Give me 17 cents on Bitcoin.
Whether you're a contractor or a master technician, Harbor Freight understands your job.
As families get ready to head back.
So a lot of parents are sitting there saying some different things. So
we're going to protect kids more than guns. My children are.
Maybe say all emojis.
Are you going to send them to school at first day of school with their smartwatch? Yes, I am. And so we're going to protect kids more than guns. My children are always going to be able to contact me in an emergency.
Mom to 2 Houston ISD students Christine Hurley is pushing back on the new Texas personal electronics ban that starts September 1st. Christine has a 4th and 2nd grader, both strapped with smartwatches now, to track and message when she wants.
We wanted to be able to communicate with them during the day, like mostly if there's an emergency at school, we wanted them to be able to contact us.
The statewide ban includes personal cell phones, tablets, smartwatches, headphones, and earbuds. House Bill 1481 gives school districts power to set limits on device use during class to help curb the constant distractions and disruptions to learning.
My initial reaction was, well, good, I understand. I didn't have a phone when I was in school, and we did just fine, but After I thought about it more, I'm against it. I want to be able to, speak with our child if we need to.
Around the dinner table, Russell and Aaron Piper told me they just got their 6th grader Lainey a new phone 2 months ago, specifically for her to take to her new middle school across town.
I don't disagree that phones are an issue and they need to not be out during school. The kids should not have access to them, but how to address that issue should be up to the schools and the school districts.
And while many schools have not said how they will enforce this new law, 2 of the largest districts in our area just released their policies and enforcement plans. HISD says the first offense, the device will be confiscated and returned to parents after school. The same goes for the second and third offense, except the device will be held a longer period of time. The policy is similar for Thorpe and ISD students, except the district says parents have to pay a fee to the school when the device is retrieved. The ban includes no devices during lunch and recess. And although it can be tough to adjust at first, some students say they now see the benefits after experiencing the no devices rule last year at their school.
There was a change during lunch and community times because most people would just be staring at their phones during lunch and community time, and now people are having more interactions and talking to others.
Attention all students and teachers. I've been asking for feedback from Houston parents on social media, and from all the parents that I spoke to, the number one reason parents want their kids to have a device with them at school: communication during a possible emergency.
My biggest fear is obviously a school shooting.
And all the worst case scenarios are just going through my head.
And you want to be able to contact your parents if you needed to.
Yeah, so that's why this is sort of also a stress reliever.
Yes, there are exceptions to the ban. Devices can be used if there is documented medical need signed by a physician. Very important. Device use is also required for emergency protocols at school, or if students are using district-issued tablets for educational purposes. Now, if you would like to know where your kid's school stands with their policies and enforcement, just scan this QR code on your screen. We have a list there that we continuously update as we get new information. I'm Daniela Guzman, KVRC 2 News.
And lots of people are going to be against it, saying, well, what if I need to contact my child? What if blah, 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 blah? Look, I get the whole blah, blah, blah. I get that, we have a recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. If Uvalde was the reason you got your child a phone, well, good for you. It's aimed to take away people's rights. It's like, if you want laws passed, you got to create situations. So, Uvalde was the whole reason why the cell phone bill why this bill was passed. Would the government shoot innocent unarmed women? Would they burn innocent people in Waco? Would they blow up a federal building? You take away rights, but no one does anything about gun control. Hey, this is Texas. A shoot-to-kill law. If your life is threatened, you have the legal right to use deadly force. Nobody does anything about gun control. In many other states, you have to have a permit. But if we got rid of the cell phone ban, and we control guns in our state, then clearly we will not have any more school shootings. And if we had them require permits, then the cell phone ban, the ban would be lifted, and bada boom, no school shootings ever. But y'all may be sitting there saying, well, I have a gun. What are you going to take my right to defend myself? It's not taking my rights. It's about, it's about redistricting. If it's what the governor wants, then it's what the governor wants. To end distractions in the educational process. And not just classroom disruption, there's also fights that are going on, and cyberbullying. And then possibly cheating, like, AI, ChatGPT, and all that stuff. That's what can happen in worst case scenarios. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. This has been a great back to school month for this year, We've been focusing on a lot of stuff throughout the years, taking second looks at all this stuff, but the biggest one ever is going to be the cell phone bill, the cell phone ban, House Bill 1481. A lot of people may sit there and say that they're against it while they're saying they're siding with the government. My take on this is, we need to. It's a great way to end disruption in our classrooms, bullying, cyberbullying, and all the fights that are going on in our schools. You look up every single fight video on the internet, and it shows. And what it shows is every single school. Every single kid in every school is fighting in the hallways, in the classrooms, in the bathrooms. All posted online. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. And that's the way, and that's just how it is, But with social media going on, but with everything that's going on, cyberbullying is going to be the toughest ever because, keyboard bullies. It's like we talked about, you don't want your child to be left alone. There are state laws that say that a child is prohibited from bullying someone, whether it's social media or harassment or regular bullying, like, teasing, taunting, name calling. And it can happen all over the internet. And like I talked about last season, the biggest advice ever is unplug. Because that is a virtual world. And like I said before, we've got to tell you have to talk to your child and tell them that telling is not tattling. Because we've all heard the kids say, oh, nobody likes a tattletale. Well, telling somebody you're being bullied, you're being victimized, that's not tattling. When you go to somebody in authority and you tell them that you're being bullied, that's not tattling. That is reporting. Those are the steps. You report it, and you're in the right direction. Those are the right steps to take. And you may sit there and say, oh, my best solution is to punch a kid in the face. And we all blame the technology, the cell phones, and the school shootings that are happening because of the bullying. I'm going to go fight the bullies, I'm going to kick their ass, whatever. It's think of this. I was a kid, you were a kid. Did you get bullied when you were in school? I did. And what was taught was, I probably was. And what was taught to me was, you stood there and you fought the bully. If you got your ass kicked, don't cry, but you stood up to the bully. You didn't think about going in your parents' room and grabbing a gun and going to shoot the kid or shooting up your school for that reason. That was the furthest thing. But you have to stand up to a bully and get that attention to the schools, to the school district. It's like I've always said before, and I've always said it at every broadcast. Stop bullying, speak up. Inspired by Cartoon Network. Being a bully is just unacceptable.
Hi, I'm Boss Rutan. Cartoon Network and I want you to help end bullying. Hey, new kid, being a bully is unacceptable. Being the victim, not cool either. Stop, man. Move, but getting help. Mr. S, finish up outside. Come on, let's go down. That's the right thing to do. Bye. Stop. If you're standing by, speak up. Yeah. You can make a difference. What's not happened yet? You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Together, we can end bullying. Stop bullying, speak up. For more info, go to stopbullying.speakup.com.
It's like we talk about. We've shown stories about kids who have been bullied. And it's always that we blame the schools for not doing enough. But if laws were to be made and school districts violated those laws, funding can be withheld. Just like in this case. Just like in some cases where a child gets bullied and suicide. What counts as bullying? Parents and schools often disagree. This is from independent.com. The definition is used in Australian schools captures key elements that say, like, hurtful to the victim, happens repeatedly over time, involves intended harm, loss of power and balance, with victims feeling unable to stop the problem. But after the bullying, what does the school do? First, the bullying often occurs when adults are not around. Second, the teacher is present. Social forms of bullying can be very subtle, such as turning away to exclude someone or using a mocking facial expression so it can be easily overlooked. Third, determining whether there is intent to harm can be difficult. The students bullying may claim, rightly or wrongly, they're only joking or intending to be upset. It's like when you go into the principal and say, "I was a joke. I was joking around." It's not a joke. Do you think suicide is a joke? Look at all those kids. Those kids have died because of bullying. Finally, not all aggressive behavior is bullying. For example, a conflict that involves arguments and fights between equals is not bullying. What if the school and parent disagrees? The school may not prioritize limited resources to resolve cases. They do not see it as bullying. They can leave the student languishing and can be very distressful for families. So whether or not the school initially agrees that the child is being bullied, so it is important to improve the situation. There are steps that people can take. And suicide is no joke either. So if we were to scare the bully straight, it would be looking in the eyes of the parents who have lost their child because of bullying. Look at the pictures and say, I do not want to, just look at the child and say, this is the person I'm picking on, and this is the person. Just look at that same person. You look at that same picture. You look at the picture of the person that committed suicide, and that person that you're being bullied is pictured in your head while you're looking at the picture. And then you look into saying to yourself, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. The bully's parents and the bully need to be scared straight. Parents of the bully, you need to get yourself scared straight as well, because if you're raising a bully, that's coming from you. You're being the bully. If you bully your son, you're teaching him that it's okay to pick on people, tease on people, and tell them, hey, they can't do this. That is setting a bad example as a parent, That's how it is. You may be a parent that are saying, well, I don't teach my son how to bully people. My son's a good kid. Okay, well, good. In their eyes, they're a good kid, but there is a side of everybody else just like there is. And I'm telling you right now, through this school year, no more bullying. There are other ways. Like, don't go to the schoolhouse gate and make accusations. Teachers are dedicated professionals. They don't just do it. They're not in this for money. They do it because they care about their kids, about the students, which are your kids. Empower your child. Make them feel about their needs and wants. Call the bully's parents, let them know when you're on your side about this. Don't make accusations. Always make friends. If you're standing by, you got to get some help. Because a child is afraid to say, oh, I'm being bullied, because they're afraid, like, oh, I'm going to get jumped on again. The parent can coach the child to manage the situation. They ask in a friendly and confident way for other students to stop when they are doing things they don't like. The parent can also help the child plan when they would ask the teacher for help. And this article
teach your children to stick with friends. Bullies usually go after singles, not groups.
This video can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Altman with tips to put a stop to bullying. 40 to 80% of kids say they've been bullied. Here's how you can help your child. If you suspect your kid's a target, don't wait for the topic of bullying to come up. Kids often feel ashamed of being bullied. Take regular walks together and casually chat about what's happening at school. It may make it easier for your child to open up. Teach your children to stick with friends. Bullies usually go after singles, not groups. If your teen's being taunted, suggest walking away as if it didn't matter. Bullies crave over-the-top reactions. Sign your child up for a martial arts class. as much as for the confidence and exercise as the self-defense. Bullies are less strong than people who reject strength. If online cyberbullying is the problem, help your child set up a new social media account and email address. Tell the school. Teachers and administrators should know what's happening, and school-wide anti-bullying campaigns are the best way to stop it.
Best way to stop it? Self-defense. I'm against people who just sign the kids up for martial arts classes. You know, it's like, child gets suspended from school for defending himself, and dad gets involved. Did you win? That's what I'm against, you know. My dad never taught me to fight, and I never fought in school, but if I did, I'd be grounded for life. That's how it would be. The bottom line here is this, you know, no more bullying through the school year. That's the way it should be. We're going to take a break. Be right back. If you'd like to know how to stop bullying and speak up, you can visit the Stop Bullying Speak Up group on Facebook. Just keywords, or it's facebook.com. Just keyword search Stop Bullying Speak Up. If you want to learn more information about bullying, how to stop it, visit our Give Me a Break newsletter at givemeabreak.substack.com for information, articles, and videos. And feel free to share your story on the group. And in future shows, we will share your story. Your story will be shared on the show, on the broadcast. I'd be lucky to have you on to help share your story, to help combat and end the cycle. Let's face it. As we approach the new school year, we want our kids to not be left alone. We want our kids to succeed, to become good members of our society and our community. That's how I feel, and that's where I stand. And that's where I stand on the cell phone bill. That's going to be where we start season 9, but for the long and short of it, what I think about it is, you know, emergency is an emergency. That's where I stand. That's Give Me a Break for now. I'm John the Carmody. Stop bullying, speak up. Concentration, not strength. No jaywalking. Autism is not a disability. It's your superpower. And as always, take care of yourself and each other. And now and always, I'm here for you through the thick and thin. Good night.